Mumford and Kid here, back again. How's everybody doing on their end? And today, ladies and gentlemen, my pack, your alpha, gives you something that you guys wanted. You guys probably want to hear. And I'm here to give my review of Endgame. Now, this is going to be semi-spoiler, but just beware, guys. If you have not seen the movie, leave this premises now. Turn this video right off right now because there's going to be some spoilers. There's going to be some spoilers. I'm just letting you know right now because if you don't, you may hate your alpha afterwards because we're going to spoil some stuff. Now, this is day one of a two-part Endgame celebration in a sense. Tomorrow we'll be having a Endgame live discussion here on the channel where we talk, we go in. But today I'm just gonna give my thoughts, overall thoughts. I'm not gonna try to run an hour like Kevin Smith did, and I did watch that. Well done, Mr. Smith. But I'm not gonna do that. But we are gonna have some fun. So overall, what did I think of this movie? In two words, I can't describe it in two words. I can only give you what I feel. And this is how I feel. First and foremost, to the two men that I have to utterly give a lot of respect to. And I'm not talking about the Russos. Yes, you guys did a good job. But I'm talking about one, Mr. RDJ. First of all, sir, thank you for everything you've done for this studio, everything you've done for the MCU. Thank you for being as loyal to this character as Hugh Jackman was to Wolverine. You now stand on that pedestal, sir, with Hugh Jackman. It is sad to see you go, but you did your part. You are the true foundation of the MCU. When a lot of people were saying were really iffy about if you could do it, let's make no mistake about it, people. This movie, the character of Iron Man, saved RDJ's career. Mr. RDJ was always in and out of trouble with the law. When he got this role, it changed his life. It made him a better man. And nobody can say any differently and tell me any differently that it didn't. Thank you, sir, for everything you've done. To the heart and soul of the MCU, Mr. Chris Evans. Sir, I'm gonna miss you. Hold on. I'm trying not to get too misty-eyed. I'm gonna miss you as this character. I truly am. I'm gonna miss you because when a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's played a character, he's played an act, he's played a superhero already," when you first were casted, I was one that was saying straight off the bat, he's gonna nail this character. And what did you do, sir? You nailed it. So to you, Mr. Evans, Mr. Chris Evans, thank you for living the true embodiment of Steve Rogers, Captain America, in the movies, and it seems like you do it outside the movies. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I got that out the way. Oh, and also I wanted to say to you, Mr. Evans, Jack and Joe Simon would be proud of you. You best believe that. Now, what did I think of the movie? Loved it. I loved it. Yes, there was some nitpicks at it that I think we all have nitpicks at, but the nitpicks did not exclude me from loving this freaking movie, guys. When I tell you I was on the edge of my seat throughout almost this whole movie, I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't. I told a family next to me who was sitting to my left, I said, forgive me if I geek out or I yell or anything like that, guys. Don't get too scared. I turned to the lady to my right who just was yawning at this movie at times, and that was kind of pissing me off, but I'm just like, said the same thing. But this movie starts off with a bang. I was shocked that it went the direction that it went. Um, them going straight to Thanos, handling Thanos, and let me tell you, handling him seriously. Snip, snip, lickety click, head right off. And then I was shocked that they time skipped, time jumped, and went 5 years into the future. Why? Because sometimes time skips leave a lot of openings and a lot of impression. Okay, what happened in those 5 years or 6 years, whatever? That's the kind of feeling how I got with Young Justice. Remember, they time skipped, and I was like, okay, what the hell happened? So what happened here? That's how I thought it was going to be, but it didn't. It was actually different. It worked. It worked. It worked to see the characters where they are in this 5 year span. From Steve Rogers now having like a session, conference session with people who talk about the vanished and everything like that. Seeing one of the Russo brothers there and seeing Jim Stalling there as well. I did tell people that's the guy who created Thanos right there. So yeah. To seeing Nat still do her job, she's still kind of being like a watchful eye on what's going on, looking for inconsistencies and everything. Having a conference between a lot of the other people, Okoye and Carol, loving her with the short hair. It looked great on her. Rhodey, big people like that. And of course, I think there was a hint that a lot of people were saying what Okoye said was a hint at Atlantis. I took it for what it was, but I'm not too quite sure. I'm sorry, guys. I just couldn't feel that way. Seeing what Bruce went through and him coming to grips that the Hulk is not a monster, so he put it all together and became Professor Hulk. Something that a lot of people were saying that's stupid, but for us comic fans, we know that happened. We know that happened. So it was good to see it, and you can see Mr. Ruffalo. He had a great time doing that. You could see it. You could just see the performance of it. He was just kind of chill, laid back a little bit, still having all that what the Hulk can do, but still then seeing Tony have a daughter, have kids, have a child, Morgan. It's funny that they named her Morgan because in the comics, Morgan Stark is a boy and is related to Tony, but is more his cousin, his evil cousin. Yeah, evil cousin. Yeah, you always get some stuff like that. But yes, so it was really interesting to see that, and she's got all of Tony's personality. Girl was cute. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit there and say girl wasn't cute. She was cute. She was adorable. You know, uh, but you could see that. You still see some animosity between Steve and Tony. And that's pretty much throughout the first few halves of the movie. Um, Basically, Scott Lang finally coming out of the quantum realm, but he is what seems like 5 years to everybody else was only like 5 hours, but he sees that time is, and you could see in San Francisco there's like a memorial for the vanquished, the vanished, and everything like that. Scott's name is up there, and when he finds Cassie, which just mm, made me happy to see Cassie a teenager because then the thoughts to just start rumbling. Ooh, okay, are they setting seeds? But to see the father and daughter, you know, um, see the father and daughter reunite, and him just saying, "You're so big," like it was great. I don't care what anybody says about, oh, F Hawkeye. I'm a huge Hawkeye fan, and to see what happened to him, his family, just that broke my heart. I'm like, oh, come on. And to see what he become when they started to track him down, see what he was doing in Japan as Ronin. They all knew that it was him because they were keeping tabs on him. But it did come up to Natasha to find him and convince him, and because they've been through so much, and it worked. It did work. Um, the chemistry between a lot of the game, like Scott coming into it again really helped a lot. It broke the monotony of this is kind of a tragedy in general. You know, being the fact that people remember and know that this happened is what also made the movie moves, in my opinion, very well. Like, it wasn't like, oh, only the Avengers know. No, everybody knew. To see my hometown of New York as freaking empty as it was, that was some scary shit. Scary crap. I'm trying not to curse. It was scary. It was really scary to see Civic Field where the Mets play just empty. If they'd have showed Yankee Stadium too, it would have been even worse for me. You know, but it was scary. It was really scary to see that, and to see that in some way the Avengers had no kind of answer prior to Scott coming back to figuring how to do this. It really was. It was really scary, and it really felt like, yeah, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. They were giving up. They were losing the fight. They lost. They did lose. They lost, and they lost heavily. And that's how the first half of the movie portrayed it, and it did it so well that I had a guy that was below me, grown man. I could hear him crying throughout that whole first. I'm like, yo, this is serious. This is really serious. And that was the key until finally Scott comes back and gives his 2 cents into how we can maybe fix this. And Tony basically implying like it's impossible, you know, it's impossible, but you can't do that. And this is where kind of where I can see where the time stuff, to me, well, and they kind of played that up. But to me, some of the greatest cinematic mediums that play time traveling well is Back to the Future, which they kind of debunked in this, which is BS. And Quantum Leap definitely did a good job as well. Those are two projects that I really enjoy how they showcase time travel, and it worked. But to them to BS it like they did, I was kind of like, but to see them go from Tony to Hulk, and he quantum physics and all that, that's not Bruce's field of expertise. But he gave it his best, and to see what happened to Scott was hilarious. We had to laugh at that. So yeah, so it was pretty funny. But I'm leaving out one other person they tried to get back before because I wanted to talk about that real quick. Thor. Okay, let's talk about Thor and his alcoholic depression that he went through in this film. People in my theater looked at when Thor was showcasing, when they finally showed Thor and he had a beer belly and he looked like the Big Lebowski, all that other stuff. They cracked up laughing. I was probably one of, I don't know how many people was in my theater, I wasn't counting, that was not laughing. I wasn't laughing at that because I knew exactly what was going on. He Thor took the loss more than anybody else of the Avengers. Nobody else took it. He failed. He had his revenge in Infinity War. He got it all taken away like that with the snap of a finger. Why? What was the famous line? You should have went for the head, but he didn't, and he took it badly. He lost his mother, he lost his father, his brother, his people, well, some of his people. We find out that they're living the refugees of the Asgardian refugees are living on the coastline, I guess, of Norway. I guess that was Norway. It would make sense that they live closer to ancient Norse land. And it's like a fishing village. You see Valkyrie, she's alive, everything like that. But he is depressed. He drinks. All he does is drink, which is question a depression. He was going through an alcoholic depression. It wasn't fat shaming him. It wasn't fat shaming. It wasn't. They weren't using his weight as a joke. Not in my opinion. They were just showcasing what someone would go through if you really felt lost and you take your emotions. You truly a demon in a bottle. Even when he brought up Thanos, what did he went he almost like don't bring up that name. Like it wounded him. And you see that throughout the whole film. Like he's just miserable. And as a true Thor fan that I am, I don't want to see the God of Thunder like that. Like I hate seeing him like that when he's depressed, whether it's comics or not. It was just like, yo, come on, Thor, like give me Thor back. Like, but it Chris Hemsworth did a good job at showcasing the alcoholic depression, in my opinion. Everybody did a really good job of showcasing their own demons, their own means and wells of handling this. Karen Gillian as Nebula, this was probably her best performance as Nebula, in my opinion, was her best performance. You really got to see throughout this film um, the humanness of this character come out, fleshed out more. There's a friend of mine that said he was never really a big fan of the character, until this movie. That's saying a lot. She really worked her ass off in this, and hearing that she wants to direct a Marvel movie sometime, give it to her. Let's see what she can do. I would love to see it. But the movie really showcased that for the first half. And when they finally started to go in the past into different eras of the MCU, whether it was the Battle of New York, going to Vermor, Voldemort, the planet where Red Skull was on for the Soul Stone, to going to where else did they go? Uh, Going to pick up the stone before the Power Stone before Star Lord got it, and just seeing them, it was hilarious. Like seeing, you know, War Machine. War Machine it was savage in this, and he's just like, okay, he's an idiot. Yeah, like it was funny, but to see them go through that and see them, do like, okay, these are the scenes that we did not see after the feat of Loki and everything like that was pretty good. You seen him going to the '70s and seeing Stan's last his his last I can't even get the word, his last appearance was great. My theater, I think a lot of people almost missed it until I started clapping and going, hey, because it happened so fast. But I love the scene between Tony and his dad. That was great. And to see Steve, to see Peggy, and to see a certain name that begins with a B and ends with Doc in that. Once I saw that, I'm like, I don't think anybody else picked up on that. I'm like, Braddock, 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 Braddock. Yeah, it was good. And to see a young Michael Douglas with the mop top, that cracked me up, man. I was cracking up with that, but it was still funny. It was funny. Uh, but yeah, man, they did a good job on that. Um, but Loki getting away made now we got an indication of what his show is going to be about now. So that's kind of a interesting take. But instantly, the rest of this movie, the rest of the movie, the final act between battling Thanos, I was on the edge of my fucking seat, though, and I just cursed. Anyway, don't matter. I was trying not to curse, guys, but I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. That final act was beautiful. It felt like they just took that stuff right out of the comics. To see the Trinity go at Thanos, the Trinity of the Avengers go at Thanos. I know I left out some other scenes like a certain death. We're gonna talk about that on the discussion, guys. So be stay tuned for that tomorrow. But to see the Trinity go at Thanos was beautiful. It it made me love it even more. To see Thor holding Mjolnir and Stormbreaker at the same time, because Thor took Mjolnir from 2014 after he got to see it. He got a scene that made me cry. See his mother again. And big ups to Renee Russo for coming back to reprise that. She was great. Um, and we're gonna talk more about that, guys. I'm sorry, but I gotta get to the final act. The final act was beautiful. To see Steve and Tony and Thor go at it, and you know, basically anytime Steve was going at it, and to finally see that shot was so beautiful, to see somebody lifting Mjolnir, pan out, Mjolnir throws, comes back. Who's holding it? Steve. Steve. When I tell you that I flipped the hell out, I was at the edge of my seat, guys. Like this. Oh, like I was literally almost having an orgasm. I'm not even joking about that. I had a geekasm again, times 20. And the next guy below me knew exactly what that was. And Thor's reaction to it even more made it better, because I knew it. Like Thor knew Steve could lift it. He knew Steve was worthy. Now a lot of people, there's all these sites and saying Steve lifting it was a cop out because it just proves that Steve could lift it all along. But come on, like he was faking it the whole time. I don't believe so. That would not be Steve wrong with that. But to see him lift it and wielding Mjolnir, in my opinion, a little bit better than Thor. He was wielding that hammer better than Thor. Like him spinning it and throwing it and using electricity, getting some shots in on Thanos was great. It was so lovely to see Steve go at Thanos one on one, and then all of a sudden, yes, let Thanos like F your shit, and that's it. And then literally trying to just going at Steve. And once he just started to hammer, I'm like, oh, this is the scene. This is the scene. They're gonna take this right out of the book. And you just saw that he broke it. And I was like, but in the comics, he was just wailing on it. He was just hammer shotting it, like wham, axe handle, and then it just shattered. But here, Steve, and I love the line where Thanos said, like, it was never personal when I did anything, but now I'm gonna enjoy this. I'm gonna really enjoy it. And this is me reenacting what I was going through in that theater Sunday night. This is me. Okay? Get up, Steve! Get up! Up! Get up! Get up! Come on, my boy, get up! And to see Steve get up and strap that broken shield, no matter what, all of Thanos' people coming out. And him, you know, like him say, if I'm going out, I'm going out like a soldier. And then to hear those two words, yo, Cap, Sam, to your left, portals opening up, portals opening up, portals opening up, portals opening up. And to see T'Challa come out with Shuri and Okoye, and T'Challa just giving that nod of respect, like crowd went crazy. To see Peter come back, crowd went crazy. To see Doc Strange come in, to see Valkyrie come in, oh, it was so great. To see all the vanished return and ready to go at it. And I love, is that everybody? Isn't that enough? Like, it was so great. I flipped out. I just flipped out. I loved, especially Scott as Giant Man, because I was hoping for a battle where Scott is Giant Man going at it, and seeing him, because he had Falcon, no, not Falcon, he had Rhodey, Hulk, and Rocket in his hand, because they were trapped underneath the exploding Avengers headquarters, and he came up, and to see Scott running at them and those Leviathan things, Scott decked one of them. Boom! I wanted to see that in the first Avengers movie. Remember I said that a long time ago, guys? Like, I really wish Ant-Man was in that, to see him deck the Leviathans. Boom! And things like that. It was great to see them all just going at, and then before they ran into battle, the other moment that made me cry, the final, no, this wasn't the final cry scene for me. To hear, to hear, to hear Steve finally pronounce those words that we have been waiting forever. Such build up to it. When he said it, Avengers assemble. That crowd, myself, went crazy. We went buck wild. It was beautiful. To see Pepper in armor, beautiful. To see just people throw down, it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. And two moments in this battle where, if it wasn't for a little bit of a help, Thanos was going to die. One moment, Wanda came down. Boom! She came down almost like Superman. Boom! Looked at Thanos like, you took everything from me. And Thanos like, I don't even know who you are. You will. And I turned to the girl next to me to my right. Look at those eyes. You see that eyes right there? Yo, know she about to fuck some shit up right now. And she literally did. She ripped almost every armor off of Thanos, and that would have been it if it wasn't for Thanos telling for the Armada his ship to shoot. But other than that, Wanda had Thanos beat. Next, when they were trying to get the gauntlet back, and it went from Peter, and Peter, used his kill mode. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that in the discussion later, because I know a lot of people had a problem with that too. But I'll talk about that. But to see that, and to see Carol come back, crowd went crazy after she destroyed the ship. Crowd went crazy. I see these memes talking about everybody was happy, and when Carol, nobody. No, that's not true. That's not true. My theater, I don't know about yours, but my theater, they went crazy when everybody came back. The meme had Panther, Spider-Man, Carol. All three of those people went crazy. And to see her come down and said, and Peter's like, hey, my name, I'm Peter Parker. Hey, Peter Parker, you got something for me? Like, just the sheer confidence on her face. But she had that look like, okay, if you don't give it to me, I'm gonna kill you. Like, Brie Larson has like this look that kind of a little creepy. Like, all right, but she comes down and she starts flying. She goes, and her fighting Thanos. But even that moment where Peter's like, I don't know how are you gonna get through it. Don't worry. Seeing all the ladies of the MCU come together, another hint and tease at could we be seeing the Lady Liberators, or if they probably instead of Lady Liberators they'll do A Force. Come, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That made me so happy. And to say for anybody out there to say that the women of the Marvel of the MCU didn't shine in this movie, what the fuck were you watching? I'm sorry, I gotta call you out on it. What the fuck were you watching? I saw Wanda rip into Thanos. I saw Pepper go buck wild. I saw Okoye do her shit. I saw Valkyrie do her shit, showcasing why she is who she is. And last but not least, I saw Carol, the last person to nearly beat the shit out of Thanos, take a headbutt from Thanos' big ass head and eat it, and was like, bitch, please, what you got? Bitch, please, what you got? And the only reason why Thanos did get the upper hand because he took out the Power Stone to knock her off. I'm like, if it wasn't for that, Thanos would have been beat. What are you talking about? I don't understand that. What are you guys talking about? It was beautiful to see the ending of that, which I knew. Once Tony asked Doctor Strange about you seeing the victory, and Strange basically said, "If I tell you, it's not going to happen." And he knew what was going to happen. The death of Tony. And as beautiful, as sad as it was also beautiful. Where I am Iron Man. Man, they killed him. And sees everybody there. Peter got to me because once again, I know what that's like to lose a mentor. Lose a mentor, and to see that happen, it was like, oh God, like, oh man. But everybody there at his funeral, everybody, that was beautiful. Every corner you saw there, outside of people who died, but you saw everybody. And probably the great moment was once again wasn't really great because a lot of people it was great. A lot of people there was the family next to me. They were asking me, "Who's that boy in the back?" I was like, "That's the kid from the third one, remember?" And they're like, "That is? I can't even recognize him." I was like, "Yeah." But seeing Nick come out last was great. That was like, oh yeah, like Nick come out and pays his respect, and seeing Happy talk with Morgan, and you're hungry, and things like that, and her. I know what that's like to lose a parent. So she lost a parent younger than I did. So it was that broke my heart. That broke my heart. But overall, just seeing everybody come back and everybody just the movie really hit every moment that you wanted. It got you emotional. It got you happy, excited. It was it did its purpose. And that final act where Steve was going to go back to put everything back where it needed to be, and to see he didn't come back, and then you see Sam and Bucky, and Bucky's like, Sam, look, and you see this man just sitting by the lake, and Bucky tells Sam, go ahead. It's almost as if Bucky knew. He knew who it was, and he goes around, and it's an elderly man. And Sam, Steve, hello, Sam. Now, for me, I was like, is that Chris Evans in prosthetic, older makeup? Was that really him, or was that just another actor playing him? But a lot of people were saying, no, that was Chris Evans. That was him. And if it was, damn, that's good. That was good acting, because I barely could, feel like that. Oh, that's Chris Evans. But to see him talk about He lived a life. He lived a life. He lived the life that Tony always said, he should. He lived it. And Sam's just like, you want to tell me about it? And he's like, nope. But it was what happened after. Steve pulls something, gives it to Sam. Now, of course, I knew what it was, but there were a lot of people in the theater didn't know. And what happens? He gives Sam the shield, basically passing the torch to Sam. Not Bucky, but Sam. And Sam just like, are you sure about this? And he says, I'll do my best. Now, how beautiful was that? It was beautiful. Now, there's a lot of discussion of was what did Steve do? What did he do? Did he just selfishly do something? You know, we'll discuss more of that. I'm right now, I just love the moment that it was. It was a moment to see. And fun fact, guys, for all who don't know this, Chris Evans spoiled that for Anthony Mackie. Chris Evans, I believe, came to Anthony Mackie's house, or Anthony Mackie went to his house, and Chris Evans brought out the script, and they read that part together, and both of them cried to know that Sam was gonna get the shield. Now I know in my heart of hearts, there's a lot of people out there that feel, well, why didn't Bucky get it? He's supposed to get it next, not Sam. But the way they play up Bucky in this movie makes sense of why Sam got it. Bucky's still kind of a broken man. He's still running from his demons. He's running from his past. Even though he had it, he was still running from his past when he was Cap before. But here they really play it up like he has a different purpose now. And why not give it to Sam? Sam kind of embodies what Steve is, just modern, and it works. It's not so it's not SJW. No, it's straight legit from the source material, and I loved it. And I loved the movie. I enjoyed it. I said the nitpicks did not hurt the movie, but there's always going to be people that's going to nitpick at stuff like that. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought that everybody brought everything to the table for their final act, whether people's contracts are up, people's whoever, but to see characters move on in a new chapter, from Valkyrie becoming the queen of New Asgard, Thor going with the Guardians, you know, to Steve living a life, to Falcon becoming the new Captain America, to seeing a possibly seeing, teasing the possible coming of the Young Avengers. Cassie's older. Supposedly the Hawkeye TV show will be Hawkeye passing his monarch over to Kate Bishop or so. I think that's what they're saying. To seeing the legacy of Tony move to, and a lot of people, we don't know, but it seems like after that last, the latest trailer, it seems like Peter is gonna carry the legacy of being the face of the MCU, which, in my opinion, it's only proper that he is, because no matter how much you look at Marvel, no matter who you are, when you say Spider-Man, he is the face of Marvel comic, that you damn right he is. So I have no problem with that. You know, to seeing hints of an all-female team, I'm ready for it. I want it. Marvel, bring it. You know, to seeing what's coming next for everybody, to seeing what we may see in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It could be like kind of be like Star Trek 3. You know, the search for Spock, the search for Gamora. You know, because the Gamora of the past is still in this universe now. To seeing, you know, we could see not only we could see old Horseface, Beta Ray Bill in the next Guardians. It makes sense if it is true because Beta Ray Bill's hammer is Stormbreaker. Who has Stormbreaker right now? Thor. We could see some things that may happen in these movies in the future be so wild and so great. But even Natasha's death even makes me wonder. Okay, now I'm more legit that her movie is a prequel. Who knows? But overall, the real final chapter of the Infinity Saga, it was worth the build up for all 22 movies. The build up to Steve saying those famous words, the build up to Thanos, Kevin Feige, you, my sir, the architect of the MCU, you, my friend, were not lying. You, sir, said it straight up. I'll never forget it. Wired Magazine. You're going to understand why we took so long to build Thanos. You were correct. Thank you, Mr. Feige. Thank you. And thank you guys for listening to me run my mouth off. You guys tell me in the comment section below, what did you think of the final chapter? And I'm looking forward to hearing your comments, guys. But other than that, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys. Come back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live. I think it's 7. No, it'd be maybe 8 o'clock. We'll make it 8. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Avengers Endgame, live discussion. We going in. You can ask me all you want about the movie, and I'll give my honest opinions on it. But other than that, I'm out. Thanks for watching, guys.